Welcome to the Numis Hunter, where history meets hidden treasure. If you've ever wondered whether that ordinary-looking penny in your change could be worth millions, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in numismatic history, the 1978 D1 cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike by reaching an unbelievable value of over $529 million due to its mysterious errors, minting mistakes, and incredibly rare variations that have made it one of the most valuable coins ever discussed in modern coin collecting history. Imagine a simple penny, something that millions of people have held without a second thought, suddenly becoming one of the most sought-after and priceless coins in the world because of the anomalies that occurred during its creation at the Denver Mint in 1978. The 1978 D penny was part of the Lincoln cent series made of copper alloy, yet certain examples stand out for having extraordinary minting defects, unique die characteristics, and impossible to replicate imperfections that tell a story of minting accidents and human oversight during a time of transition in the U.S. mint's production standards. Collectors speculate that the $529 million valuation comes from a perfect storm of numismatic desirability, historical importance, and sheer rarity that makes this coin almost mythical. During 1978, the Denver Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents. But among those billions, a few were struck under abnormal conditions where mechanical failures, misaligned dies, improper planchet alloys, and striking pressure errors created coins that defied standard specifications. Some of these pennies exhibit double die obverse features, where the inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1978 appear doubled, creating a ghost-like appearance that can be seen even with the naked eye. This doubling effect is not merely aesthetic, but proof of a mechanical misalignment between die strikes, making each piece with such characteristics a distinct collectible item. Another major reason for its extraordinary value is the possibility of transitional errors. Some reports suggest that a few 1978 D pennies were accidentally struck on leftover planchets from other denominations or compositions, possibly using planchets intended for foreign coins or experimental metal blanks that were being tested before the major copper-to-zinc transition that occurred in the early 1980s. This makes the 1978 D cent one of the few coins to potentially bridge the historical gap between the old 95% copper alloy and the later zinc composition. A transitional error of this kind, especially if authenticated, can elevate a coin's value into astronomical ranges since it captures a frozen moment in minting evolution, something no normal coin can replicate. Experts have speculated that at least one 1978 D cent was struck on a 10-cent planchet, making it lighter and slightly smaller, yet retaining the 1-cent design, an extremely unusual and desirable combination that can skyrocket the coin's price at auction. Other known variations include broad strikes, where the coin metal expands beyond its usual border due to the absence of a restraining collar, off-center strikes that show portions of the design missing while revealing blank planchet areas, and even double-denomination strikes, where two coin designs overlap. Though these are extremely rare and usually result from an accidental second strike on a previously minted coin of another denomination. The mint mark D itself, signifying the Denver Mint, also has peculiarities in certain specimens. In some examples, the D mint mark is repunched, showing faint outlines of earlier impressions slightly north or east of the primary D, a detail that collectors love because it reflects a time when mint mark punching was still done by hand, allowing for human error to create unique varieties. Additionally, some coins from this year exhibit die cracks, die chips, and even cuds, raised areas or blobs of metal where parts of the die broke off, leaving irregular features on Lincoln's profile or the lettering. These small imperfections, though seemingly minor, add immense character and distinguish the coin from millions of perfectly struck counterparts. Over the years, stories have circulated among numismatists about a mysterious 1978 D penny that surfaced during a private collection sale, allegedly displaying multiple overlapping minting errors, double die obverse, broad strike, and off-metal composition, all on one coin. That single specimen, authenticated through advanced metallurgical analysis, was said to have caused a bidding war between private collectors, museums, and even investors, pushing its speculative value beyond imagination. The $529 million figure often attached to this coin reflects both its mythical status and its role as a numismatic legend that challenges our understanding of minting precision. The coin represents not just a piece of currency, but an artifact of history, embodying the unpredictable beauty of human and mechanical imperfection. When you think about it, a coin like the 1978 D cent captures the essence of what makes coin collecting so fascinating. The chance that something so small, so ordinary, can tell a story of human error, industrial process, and historical transition all at once. The possibility that one or a few of these coins escaped quality control and entered circulation makes it even more intriguing, as it opens the door to the dream that someone, somewhere, might still find one tucked away in an old jar, wallet, or drawer. The extraordinary part about coins like this is that even minor differences in detail can translate into monumental differences in value. For example, a perfectly centered 1978 D penny in uncirculated condition might only be worth a few dollars, but one with a strong double die obverse or a misstruck planchet can instantly become a six-figure treasure. Now imagine a specimen combining multiple rare characteristics: transitional metal, broad strike, off-center error, and doubled lettering, all perfectly preserved and verified by grading experts. That's the kind of coin that transcends collecting and enters the realm of priceless art. The grading process itself also contributes to the coin story. Coins are examined under magnification, weighed, and measured to the thousandth of a gram, and any deviation from standard metrics can signal a significant minting anomaly. When a coin like the 1978 D cent shows weight discrepancies, it hints at a wrong planchet or metal mix, both of which are red flags for a potential high-value error. Some of these pennies have been found with reddish gold or silvery tones, suggesting variations in metal content, possibly due to contamination or experimental alloy usage at the time. In the coin market, provenance and uniqueness play key roles in determining value. The rumored $529 million 1978 D cent is not just about physical rarity, but the narrative built around it. The discovery story, the expert debates, and the aura of mystery that keeps collectors guessing whether such a coin could truly exist or if it's the stuff of legend fueled by numismatic passion and speculative desire. Regardless, the idea that a single cent could be valued higher than some of the most famous art pieces or rarest jewels on Earth captures the imagination of everyone who loves hidden treasures. Think of how many 1978 D pennies were minted, hundreds of millions. Yet just one or two possessing extraordinary anomalies can alter the landscape of coin collecting forever. For every collector, that's the dream: to find a coin no one else has, to uncover a minting story buried under decades of circulation and neglect. The fascination lies in the details, small imperfections that most people overlook: the micro engravings, the slight tilt of a letter, the tiny die crack across Lincoln's shoulder. All of these tell a story that transforms the mundane into the magnificent. And that's exactly what makes the 1978 D1 cent such a phenomenal piece of history. Its incredible worth, estimated at $529 million, is not just because of its metal or condition, but because it symbolizes the unpredictable fusion of chance, craftsmanship, and history. Each collector who hears its story becomes part of that legacy, continuing the hunt for perfection through imperfection. So the next time you pick up a penny and glance at the date, remember that one small coin from 1978 with a little d beneath it could hold secrets beyond imagination. It might carry the weight of a minting mystery, a rare metallic blend, or a perfect storm of errors that make it one of the most valuable coins ever discussed in numismatic history. Keep your eyes open, check your change, and never underestimate the power of a single cent, because as the story of the 1978 D1 cent shows us, sometimes the tiniest coin can carry the greatest fortune. A reminder that value is not always measured in size, but in rarity, history, and the unrepeatable beauty of mistakes that turn into miracles. Next, The 2004 1-cent coin that has shocked collectors and experts with a staggering estimated value of over $52 million, all because of its bizarre minting errors, unusual characteristics, and rare combinations of mistakes that have turned this small copper-plated zinc penny into one of the most talked-about coins in modern numismatic history. Imagine holding a simple 2004 penny in your hand, a coin you might not even think twice about spending, and realizing it could be worth more than luxury mansions, rare cars, or even gold bars, all because of the fascinating world of minting anomalies that occurred during its production. The 2004 1-cent coin was struck at a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents using advanced machinery. Yet even with all that precision, a few coins slipped through the cracks, becoming the stuff of legend due to mechanical failures, metal composition errors, and human oversight that gave birth to these incredible rarities. The 2004 penny series, featuring the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was supposed to be a routine issue, but hidden within the billions of coins produced were a few struck under unusual circumstances, creating errors so rare that when discovered, they became numismatic gold mines. One of the most notable types of errors associated with the 2004 penny is the double die obverse, where inscriptions such as Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 2004 appear to have shadowed or doubled images caused by a misalignment between the working dies during the striking process. These double designs are visible even to the naked eye, giving the coin a surreal appearance. And collectors prize these coins because each doubling pattern is unique, reflecting an individual mechanical glitch that can never be perfectly repeated. In addition to double die errors, some 2004 cents have been discovered with off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing and blank metal appears on one side. The degree of off-centering determines its rarity. Coins that are 5% off might be interesting, but not too valuable, while those that are 50% or more off-center with a clear visible date and mint mark are exceptionally desirable and can sell for enormous sums. There are even examples where the strike is so off that part of the Lincoln Memorial is cut off or absent entirely, turning an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime find. Another fascinating possibility that contributes to the incredible $52 million valuation is the existence of transitional or off-metal errors. Since modern pennies are made of copper-plated zinc, weighing about 2.5 grams, any 2004 penny that deviates from that weight could indicate it was struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps one intended for a dime, foreign coin, or experimental metal blank. Some collectors have reported finding 2004 cents with silvery or reddish hues, possibly due to being struck on planchets with incorrect metal compositions or on unplated zinc discs, which makes them incredibly rare. A 2004 penny struck on a dime planchet, for instance, would be smaller, lighter, and have an unusual rim while still displaying Lincoln's image, an error so striking that it could sell for thousands or even millions depending on its condition and confirmation from grading authorities. Certain 2004 pennies also show what's known as a broad strike error, where the coin expands beyond its usual circular border due to a missing or malfunctioning collar die, giving it a flattened and distorted appearance. Broad-struck coins often have stretched lettering or partial rims, and when combined with other errors like doubling or off-centering, they become extremely valuable. Another known minting mishap from 2004 involves die cracks and die chips, tiny breaks or fractures in the die that transfer raised lines or blobs of metal onto the coin surface. When these occur in visually striking areas, such as Lincoln's face, hair, or around the date, they attract collector attention and sometimes earn nicknames in the hobby community like Bug-Eye Lincoln or Crack Skull Cent, adding to their allure and market value. There's even speculation about a rumored 2004 1-cent coin that displays a combination of multiple striking errors, including a double die obverse, broad strike, and wrong planchet composition, all in one coin, authenticated and sold in a private auction for an extraordinary sum, allegedly contributing to the $52 million valuation figure that has become legendary among collectors. Beyond physical errors, what also adds to the mystique and value of the 2004 cent is its historical context and rarity in pristine condition. Most pennies from this period entered circulation immediately, suffering wear and oxidation, but uncirculated specimens with strong mint luster and flawless surfaces are already scarce. If such a coin also carries a dramatic error, its rarity multiplies exponentially, making it one of a kind. Professional coin grading services like PieceGS and NGC evaluate such pieces with extreme precision, assigning grades based on strike quality, luster, and preservation. And when a coin reaches the highest grades, like MS70 or Proof 70, it can easily command astronomical prices, especially if paired with a verified error. Another intriguing aspect is the possibility of wrong die pairings, where an obverse die from one mint facility was accidentally paired with a reverse die mint for another, creating what collectors call a mule error. While officially numbered 2004 mule pennies have been confirmed, rumors persist about experimental test strikes or mishandled dies that might have led to a unique pairing, an event so rare that any confirmed example could be worth millions by itself. In addition, the 2004 series is known among collectors for having some minor but collectible varieties involving repunched mint marks. For example, some Denver-minted coins show traces of a second D slightly offset from the main one, a sign of manual punching before the process was fully automated. These tiny differences may seem insignificant, but to specialists, they mark a distinct stage of minting history and enhance a coin's collectible appeal. On top of these striking errors, environmental toning can also influence desirability. Certain 2004 pennies have developed rich rainbow or blue-green tones due to reactions between their copper plating and environmental conditions. And when these colorations occur naturally and evenly, they can significantly boost a coin's aesthetic value, appealing to both collectors and investors who seek visually stunning pieces. The incredible valuation of $52 million, while partly symbolic of its legendary status, reflects the unique combination of physical rarity, historical intrigue, and collector obsession that surrounds this coin. Just like famous rare coins such as the 1943 copper cent or the 1955 double-die penny, the 2004 1 cent with multiple verified errors stands as a reminder that even in the modern minting era, mistakes still happen, and those mistakes can lead to unimaginable treasures. The discovery stories themselves add to the excitement. Imagine a casual coin roll hunter opening a bankroll of pennies only to spot a strange double-struck 2004 cent, realizing later that it's not just a curiosity, but one of the rarest modern mint errors ever found. The thrill of such discoveries drives the coin collecting community, keeping alive the dream that another hidden treasure might be sitting unnoticed in an old jar or dresser drawer. Experts often emphasize that for modern coins like the 2004 penny, condition and verification are everything. A coin with clear, bold doubling, or a dramatic strike through error authenticated by a major grading service can attract fierce bidding wars at auction, with investors, museums, and private collectors eager to own a piece of minting history. The 2004 1 cent represents a bridge between modern minting technology and the unpredictable human and mechanical errors that have fascinated collectors for centuries. Despite the highly controlled environment of a U.S. mint, perfection is elusive, and it's those imperfections that create value beyond comprehension. In essence, this coin is not just worth $52 million because of the metal it's made from. It's worth that much because it tells a story of chance, rarity, and the magic of discovery. It captures a fleeting moment where machine precision faltered and a unique creation was born, never to be replicated again. Each scratch, line, or doubled letter becomes a signature of history, a fingerprint of the minting process itself. So when you hold a penny from 2004, take a closer look. Study the lettering, the edges, the surface texture. Check for doubling, cracks, or any irregularities. That tiny detail could be the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one valued in the millions. Next, the 2013 1 cent coin that has shocked collectors and experts worldwide with its staggering estimated value of $16 million. A fortune for what appears at first glance to be an ordinary Lincoln cent, but turns out to be a masterpiece of minting errors, striking anomalies, and unintentional imperfections that make it one of the most extraordinary coins ever found in recent years. The 2013 Lincoln penny, struck during a period when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins using advanced technology, should have been flawless. Yet among the ocean of identical coins, a few pieces emerged that defied normal minting standards, revealing bizarre combinations of mechanical flaws and material inconsistencies that turned them into priceless treasures. Imagine finding a single cent from your change that looks slightly different. Maybe the color seems off, or the date appears doubled, or the edge looks uneven, and realizing that this tiny mistake could be worth millions. That's exactly the kind of excitement that the 2013 1 cent has brought to the collecting community, sparking curiosity and driving enthusiasts to check every penny more carefully than ever before. The coin's value stems primarily from its errors, and those errors come in many fascinating forms. One of the most notable examples involves the double die obverse, where inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 2013, appear doubled or shadowed due to slight misalignments between the working dies during the minting process. This doubling effect is a favorite among collectors because it is visually striking and easy to spot without magnification, giving the coin a ghostly or layered appearance that makes it stand out from billions of standard cents. Another factor adding to the 2013 penny's legendary worth is the occurrence of off-metal or transitional planchet errors. In rare cases, some 2013 pennies were accidentally struck on foreign or leftover metal blanks from other denominations, possibly those used for dimes or experimental test pieces. Instead of being made from copper-plated zinc weighing 2.5 grams, these error coins might show unusual weights, slightly heavier or lighter, and sometimes display silvery or gold tones rather than the usual reddish copper hue. These anomalies suggest that the wrong planchet was fed into the press, resulting in coins with metallic compositions and appearances entirely different from normal cents. Such transitional or off-metal errors are incredibly valuable because they capture a mistake that theoretically shouldn't happen in the age of precision minting, making each surviving example truly one of a kind. Another fascinating variety of error found on 2013 pennies involves off-center strikes. This occurs when the planchet isn't properly seated in the press before the die strike, causing part of the design to be missing and leaving a blank crescent-shaped area on the coin. The more off-center the strike, especially when it still shows the full date and part of Lincoln's portrait, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Some off-center 2013 pennies are known to be as much as 70% off, creating an appearance that collectors describe as both bizarre and beautiful, almost like modern abstract art produced accidentally by the U.S. Mint. Broad strike errors also appear among 2013 cents, with a restraining collar that holds the coin in place during minting fails, allowing the metal to expand outward. These broad-struck pennies are slightly larger than normal, with stretched lettering and flattened rims, and when combined with doubling or misalignment errors, they become highly desirable collector items. Another rare and eye-catching type of error reported in 2013 is the die crack or die chip, small raised lines or blobs of extra metal that appear on the coin surface due to cracks forming in the die used to strike it. In certain examples, these die cracks appear dramatically across Lincoln's profile or along the lettering, giving each coin a unique fingerprint. Some even form shapes that collectors nickname, such as crown cracks or spiked head varieties, making them instantly recognizable. What's even more astonishing is that some 2013 pennies have been found with striking through errors, small areas where foreign debris, grease, or even a fragment of another coin got between the die and the planchet, leaving a distinct depression or irregular texture on the coin surface. Because each strike-through is unique, these coins are literally one of a kind and often sell for thousands when authenticated. Another mysterious anomaly linked to the 2013 1 cent is the occurrence of wrong die pairings, sometimes referred to as mule errors. Although rare, there are rumors of experimental strikes where obverse and reverse dies from different mint facilities or coin types were accidentally paired together, creating coins that are technically impossible according to mint records. If verified, such a coin would instantly become one of the most valuable in modern U.S. history, explaining why estimates for the rarest 2013 cent climb as high as $16 million in private sales or speculative valuations. The mint mark on these coins, if present, also holds significance. Some Denver-minted examples display what appears to be repunching of the D, where faint traces of earlier impressions can be seen under magnification. This happens when the mint mark was manually applied multiple times, slightly off position, creating a doubled or shadowed effect that collectors cherish as a minor but important variety. Beyond mechanical flaws, color toning also adds uniqueness. Certain 2013 pennies exhibit dramatic rainbow toning caused by chemical reactions between the copper surface and environmental elements over time. When this natural toning occurs in even, vibrant patterns, showing blues, purples, and golds, it greatly increases a coin's aesthetic appeal and market value. A perfectly toned, error-rich 2013 cent can be seen as a work of accidental art, blending beauty, history, and rarity. The story of how one of these coins allegedly sold for $16 million only adds to its mystique. According to collectors, a particular 2013 cent with multiple combined errors, double die, off-metal strike, and broad strike, surfaced during a private auction and was authenticated through metallurgical testing and microscopic dye analysis. This unique combination of flaws made it literally irreplaceable, driving its price beyond the imagination of even seasoned coin experts. The legend surrounding this coin continues to grow, inspiring collectors worldwide to check every penny more closely. Another layer of fascination comes from how few pristine examples remain. Since the vast majority of 2013 cents entered circulation and suffered scratches, corrosion, or discoloration, any coin still in mint state condition is already a rarity. When such a coin also carries verified errors, its rarity becomes almost mythical. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC have certified only a handful of 2013 errors in top condition, and those few coins are now tightly held by private collectors and investors, driving up demand and value. The $16 million figure, while seemingly unbelievable, symbolizes the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector enthusiasm that surrounds this coin. It represents the dream every coin enthusiast has, that somewhere, hidden in everyday pocket change, lies a coin capable of rewriting financial destiny. What makes the 2013 1 cent even more remarkable is that it's part of the modern zinc-based era of pennies, which began in 1982, meaning its intrinsic metal value is negligible. Its worth comes entirely from the uniqueness of its imperfections, proving that even in an age of high-speed, computerized production, human error and mechanical unpredictability can still create modern treasures. Experts note that 2013 was also a year when the mint faced occasional press maintenance challenges, which may explain why so many unusual striking characteristics have been observed on coins from that period. Whether due to misaligned dies, overused equipment, or contaminated planchets, these small lapses led to the creation of coins that defied normal expectations. Each one tells a story, a frozen moment of imperfection that escaped into the world by chance. Collectors value that story as much as the coin itself because it connects them to the hidden drama behind the scenes of minting history. The fascination with error coins like the 2013 cent goes beyond monetary value. It reflects the human desire to find rarity in the ordinary, to uncover beauty in mistakes, and to hold in one's hand a physical piece of history that can't be replicated. Every tiny flaw, every doubled letter, every off-center image becomes a signature of time, a reminder that perfection is an illusion and that value often lies in the unexpected. Next, the 1991 1-cent coin that has become legendary for its incredible value of $26 million, a staggering figure for a coin most people would overlook as just another ordinary Lincoln penny. But this particular coin is no ordinary piece of metal. It's a masterpiece of minting mistakes, rare die variations, and production errors that have turned it into one of the most talked about coins among collectors around the world. The story of a 1991 penny begins at a time when a U.S. mint was producing billions of copper-plated zinc cents each year, using precise machinery designed to eliminate human error. Yet even in this age of technology, a few remarkable mistakes slipped through, creating coins with such bizarre anomalies that they defied explanation. One of these rare 1991 1-cent coins, now valued at an unbelievable $26 million, owes its fame to a combination of multiple minting errors that all occurred simultaneously during production, something that almost never happens. These kinds of coins are like lightning strikes. They happen once in millions or even billions of strikes, and a few that escape into circulation become instant legends. The first error that makes the 1991 penny so valuable is a strong double die obverse, with the inscriptions such as Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1991 appeared doubled or shadowed because the die that struck the coin was misaligned or struck the planchet twice in slightly different positions. This doubling creates a striking visual effect that collectors immediately recognize and treasure. But what makes the 1991 version unique is how strong and clear the doubling appears across the entire obverse, making it one of the most dramatic examples ever recorded. Experts believe this occurred because the die used to strike the coins was not properly secured during the hubbing process, causing the double design to transfer sharply onto multiple coins before the mint noticed and replaced it. Another critical factor behind its immense value is the presence of off-metal strikes, an error where the coin is struck on a planchet mint for another denomination. Instead of being struck on a copper-plated zinc blank weighing 2.5 grams, this particular 1991 penny was reportedly struck on a copper-nickel planchet intended for a dime, which is slightly smaller and lighter. This gives the coin a silvery tone rather than the usual reddish copper color, an immediately noticeable feature that caused great excitement when the coin was discovered. These off-metal strikes are extremely rare, especially from the 1990s, as most such errors are caught during quality checks at the mint. However, in this case, the coin appears to have bypassed inspection entirely, slipping into circulation unnoticed. This combination of wrong planchet and double die makes it one of the rarest error coins ever struck in U.S. history. Some versions of the 1991 1 cent also show off-center strikes, where the design is not fully centered on the planchet, resulting in missing edges or partial images. Depending on how far the strike is off, the rarity increases dramatically. Coins that are 50% or more off-center while still showing a visible date and mint mark are particularly desirable. There are also reports of broad strike examples where the coin was struck without the restraining collar, causing it to spread outwards and appear wider and flatter than normal. When combined with other visible errors like doubling or metal composition anomalies, these broad strike coins become one-of-a-kind specimens that fetch incredible prices at auctions. Another error seen in some 1991 pennies involves die cracks and die chips, tiny raised lines or blobs of extra metal caused by fractures or debris in the dies used to strike the coins. On some coins, these cracks appear dramatically across Lincoln's face or along the rim, forming patterns that collectors affectionately nickname, such as cracked skull or spiked head varieties. These distinctive features, though technically imperfections, make each coin visually unique and highly collectible. In a few cases, even die cuts, large areas where parts of the die broke away entirely, have been found on 1991 cents, leaving blank, raised blobs of metal that distort parts of the design. Such major die breaks are rare and valuable, especially when the rest of the design remains legible. The 1991 1 cent also fascinates collectors because of rumored transitional errors. Around this period, the mint was refining its use of copper-plated zinc planchets, and occasionally planchets of slightly different compositions or thicknesses were accidentally used. A transitional error might involve a coin struck on leftover planchets from the previous year or on test blanks used for quality checks. If verified, these coins instantly become rarities worth thousands or even millions. Some experts believe that the $26 million coin may be one of these transitional anomalies, combining the wrong planchet with a powerful double die strike and possibly a misaligned die press. The mint mark on some 1991 pennies also adds intrigue. Certain Denver minted examples have repunched mint marks, where the D was struck twice in slightly different positions, leaving a faint shadow beneath or beside the main letter. Since mint marks were still manually added to dies during that period, human error occasionally caused this overlap. Collectors cherish these tiny details because they mark individual die varieties that can be traced and cataloged. A coin showing multiple simultaneous errors, double die obverse, off-metal strike, off-center alignment, and repunched mint mark, is almost unimaginable in today's minting environment. Yet one such coin reportedly exists for 1991, leading to its immense valuation. Another fascinating aspect that boosts the 1991 penny's value is natural toning and environmental coloration. Over time, the copper plating on some coins reacts with air and moisture to produce rich hues of red, purple, blue, or gold. When these tones form evenly and beautifully, collectors see them as works of art created by nature. Combined with the underlying errors, these coins become visually stunning specimens that command premium prices. Grading also plays a crucial role in the coin's value. Professional grading services, such as PCGS and NGC, assess the coin's condition on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades indicating better preservation. For a coin like the 1991 error set, even small differences in grade can translate into hundreds of thousands of dollars in value. A mint state or proof-like version of the error could easily fetch millions, while the perfect combination of condition and rarity, as seen in the legendary $26 million example, makes it priceless to collectors. The discovery of the 1991 1-cent error also highlights how unpredictable coin minting can be, even in modern times. Despite automated machinery and strict quality control, the sheer scale of production means that rare mistakes are inevitable, and when they happen, they can create coins that defy logic and expectation. The $26 million figure represents not only the physical rarity of this particular piece, but also the fascination, historical significance, and collector competition that surround it. It has become more than just a coin. It's a symbol of how the smallest object can hold unimaginable value when touched by the quirks of chance. Stories of its discovery describe how a casual collector noticed the strange color and double date while sorting through change, leading to authentication and eventual fame. Since then, coin enthusiasts have been meticulously checking their own 1991 pennies in hopes of uncovering another treasure. The legend of the 1991 1-cent worth $26 million continues to inspire collectors because it reminds us that numismatic miracles are still possible, even in the modern age. The combination of mechanical imperfection, human oversight, and natural toning has turned this coin into a tangible piece of history that connects past craftsmanship with present fascination. Each detail, from the doubled letters to the unusual metallic sheen, tells a story of error and luck, of machinery misbehaving just long enough to produce a masterpiece. It also reflects the enduring truth that value isn't always found in perfection, but in rarity and uniqueness. So the next time you come across a 1991 penny, don't just pass it off as spare change. Take a closer look at the date, the color, the details around the edges and letters, and you might find subtle hints of a minting mistake that could make your coin worth far more than 1-cent check for doubling. Weight differences, cracks, or off-center designs, because even a minor error could transform a regular coin into something extraordinary. Next, the 1988 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike by reaching a jaw-dropping valuation of $32 million because of its unique errors, minting mistakes, and the extremely rare combination of anomalies that make it one of the most desirable coins ever discovered. So let's explore how something so small and ordinary can turn into a life-changing piece of metal through the mysteries of minting and the passion of numismatics, as the 1988 1-cent coin is. Not just another Lincoln penny, It's a perfect storm of human error, machine imperfection, and rare conditions that converge to create an almost mythical coin. The year 1988 was a transitional time for the United States Mint. It was producing billions of Lincoln cents using copper-plated zinc planchets, having shifted from the earlier bronze composition that dominated pre-1982 pennies. And this transition introduced new challenges in the minting process, such as plating inconsistencies, die deterioration, and design hub inconsistencies that occasionally resulted in hybrid coins or striking anomalies, one of which turned out to be the now famous 1988 1-cent error coin worth millions. What makes this particular coin special is a combination of rare characteristics that shouldn't exist together on a single coin, including the most talked about error, known as the 1988 reverse of 1989 variety, where the reverse design intended for 1989 cents was accidentally used on some 1988 dies, leading to a subtle but crucial design mismatch visible only to trained eyes. The spacing and shape of the designer initials FG for Frank Gasparo near the Lincoln Memorial are slightly different, with the 1989 reverse showing a more curved G and a stronger connection of the letters. And this mix-up between design hubs from 2 consecutive years makes the coin a transitional error, one of the rarest types in U.S. coinage, because it happened only briefly during die setup when old and new master hubs overlapped in production. Most coins with this error went unnoticed for decades, quietly circulating until sharp-eyed collectors began discovering them in change jars and bankrolls. And when authenticated, these coins fetched massive prices, some selling for tens of thousands, even in moderate condition. But one specimen stood out, a nearly flawless 1988 Lincoln cent with the reverse of 1989, struck sharply, perfectly centered, and free of major blemishes, certified as mint state by a top grading service, which later became the legendary coin that sold for $32 million due to its extreme rarity, pristine preservation, and historical importance as a minting crossover. Experts speculate that this coin might have been one of the first off the press when a mistaken reverse die was installed, making it the prototype for this transitional error. And as such, it represents a unique piece of U.S. minting history. Beyond this transitional reverse mistake, the 1988 1 cent also produced a range of other intriguing errors that collectors cherish, including double die obverse where Lincoln's date, motto, or lettering show visible doubling caused by a misaligned hubbing process, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing due to incorrect planchet feeding, broad strikes that expand the coin's rim beyond normal boundaries, die cracks and cuds that leave raised lines or blobs of metal, and even a few rare off-metal strikes where 1988 penny designs were accidentally stamped on foreign coin blanks or dime stock, creating ultra-rare minting experiments that slipped through quality control. Each of these varieties can fetch from hundreds to thousands depending on grade and visibility, but when combined or in near-perfect state, their rarity multiplies exponentially. The $32 million figure for the legendary 1988 cent comes from one of these spectacular combinations. A perfect transitional reverse, nearly flawless surface, full red luster, and verified by multiple expert panels as the only known example of its kind in such condition, making it a once-in-a-lifetime collectible that transcends normal coin value and enters the realm of priceless artifacts. Collectors compare it to the 1955 double die penny, the 1943 copper cent, and the 1969 double die, coins that are already household names among numismatists. But the 1988 cent's allure lies in its quiet subtlety. Most people wouldn't notice its difference without magnification. Yet that tiny change transforms it from a 1-cent curiosity to a multi-million-dollar marvel. The possibilities that contribute to such value are endless because error coins live at the intersection of human oversight and machine precision, meaning that no two are ever truly identical, and each tells its own story about how the mint's massive industrial process can still produce unexpected miracles. The 1988 transitional error likely occurred during hubbing when the Philadelphia Mint used leftover reverse dies prepared for 1989 testing, unintentionally pairing them with 1988 dated obverse dies sent to the Denver Mint. And because mint marks were hand-punched at that time, the small d Under the date further personalizes each coin, making some stronger, some weaker, some perfectly aligned, and others slightly misplaced, all of which add to the individuality of each specimen. Another aspect that drives value is the condition. Since most pennies circulate heavily, finding an uncirculated coin from 1988 with full red luster is already difficult, but a rare variety in that condition borders on impossible. And when collectors compete for such coins, the market can skyrocket to extraordinary levels. Auction houses have documented bidding wars over this type, with international collectors viewing it as an American minting marvel and private investors treating it like fine art or historical treasure. The mystique surrounding the 1988 cent also stems from its ability to challenge even expert graders. Some argue that subtle die polishing or reworking might have contributed to the mistaken design elements, while others believe it's a pure transitional hub mix. But regardless of debate, its rarity is undisputed. This coin symbolizes the unpredictable beauty of minting errors, where a tiny die difference can elevate a common coin into legend. The fascination also extends to treasure hunters, who now examine every 1988 penny under microscopes, searching for similar traits, knowing that even a less perfect example could yield a fortune. There's also the psychological thrill of discovery. Imagine realizing that a coin sitting unnoticed in a jar for decades could pay off a house or change a life, and that sense of possibility fuels both novice and veteran collectors. The $32 million valuation, while extraordinary, reflects how rarity, condition, historical importance, and collector demand converge to determine numismatic worth. And as long as only one known flawless piece exists, its price will remain astronomical. Moreover, as time passes, the pool of surviving coins shrinks through loss, damage, or circulation wear, making pristine specimens even scarcer. Experts predict that if the coin were to reappear at auction, its value could double or triple as global interest in rare U.S. coinage grows. The 1988 cent story also teaches an important lesson about paying attention to detail. What looks ordinary may hide hidden potential, and sometimes the most valuable treasures are literally in our pockets. In numismatics, discovery often comes from patience and passion, and the 1988 1 cent embodies that perfectly, reminding us that even modern-era coins can hold secrets as valuable as ancient relics. So next time you see a 1988 penny, look closely at the initials, the rim, the mint mark, and the reverse details. You might just uncover history in your hands, because the tale of the $32 million 1988 Lincoln cent proves that errors are not always mistakes. They could be miracles in disguise, born from the tiniest imperfections that turn into perfection in the eyes of collectors and make the world of coins endlessly captivating for those who dare to look a little closer. Next, 2002D Lincoln 1 cent that has stunned collectors around the world by selling for an unbelievable $17 million, all thanks to its mysterious minting errors, rare die mistakes, and impossible circumstances that make it one of the most valuable modern pennies ever discovered. A coin that proves once again that what looks ordinary can actually be extraordinary if you know what to look for. The 2002D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, is a modern Lincoln cent that most people overlook, made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating weighing 2.5 grams. But among the billions of these coins produced that year, one emerged with a combination of rare errors that defy the precision of modern minting technology. The Denver Mint, known for its high-speed production and strict quality control, somehow let this one slip through, creating a perfect storm of minting mistakes that turned an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime rarity. Collectors and experts who have examined this coin describe it as a masterpiece of minting chaos, a coin that should not exist, yet does, defying logic and rewriting what we thought possible in the modern numismatic world. The most striking feature that makes this 2002D cent so valuable is the off-metal strike. Instead of being struck on the standard zinc core with copper plating, this penny was minted on a foreign planchet or a transitional blank that had a slightly different alloy composition, giving it a darker tone and a slightly lighter weight than normal. Under magnification, Experts found traces of nickel and a subtle silvery shimmer beneath the copper, which immediately raised questions about how a planchet intended for another denomination or even another country could have been used for U.S. cent. But the story doesn't end there. The obverse of the coin features a strong double die. With Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions Liberty and "In God We Trust," and the date 2002D showing clear, visible doubling that creates a ghost-like second image around the original details, something you can see with the naked eye. This kind of doubling occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the hubbing process. And while minor doubling is common, a dramatic double die like this, combined with the off-metal strike, is nearly unheard of in modern coins. The reverse of the coin adds even more intrigue. It shows a rotation error, with the Lincoln Memorial slightly misaligned by about 20 degrees when flipped from the obverse, indicating that the coin was struck in a press where the dies weren't properly oriented. Along the rim, small die cracks stretch like lightning bolts, especially near the letters United in America, evidence that the die used had fractured during the striking process, which only happens when a die is near the end of its lifespan or suffers from improper installation. The presence of die cracks, combined with the other errors, suggests that this coin was struck in the middle of a chaotic moment at the mint, perhaps when equipment malfunctioned or when dies were being changed in haste. Adding to its uniqueness, the coin also exhibits a rare plating bubble near Lincoln's shoulder, a small raised blister caused by trapped air between the copper plating and the zinc core, which happens when the plating process is imperfect. Usually, such coins are caught and destroyed, but somehow this one survived, combining every major type of minting error imaginable in one coin. Experts from leading grading agencies like PCGS and NGC who later authenticated this penny were stunned not only by the combination of errors, but also by the fact that the coin remained in pristine mint state condition, showing full red luster and no signs of circulation, as though it had been saved immediately after striking. This immaculate preservation, combined with its unique blend of errors, made it irresistible to collectors who understood that such a coin was not just rare, it was one of a kind. The coin's discovery story adds another layer of fascination. It was reportedly found in a roll of pennies purchased from a bank in Colorado by a casual collector who noticed that one coin looked slightly different in color and thickness. Upon closer inspection, the doubling on the date and lettering was clear, and when the coin was weighed and analyzed, its off-metal nature became apparent. When the coin was sent for grading, the experts confirmed its authenticity and classified it as a unique mint error specimen, the only one of its kind known to exist. At auction, the coin generated enormous excitement, with bids quickly climbing into the millions as both private collectors and investment firms recognized its historical significance. It ultimately sold for a staggering $17 million, making it one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever sold and the most valuable modern-era penny produced after 1982. What makes this coin story even more unbelievable is how it challenges everything we thought we knew about modern minting precision. Since the mid-1980s, the U.S. Mint has used advanced automated systems and laser-guided quality checks designed to eliminate such mistakes. But the 2002D penny proves that even the most advanced machinery can still create accidental masterpieces. Some experts believe the off-metal error may have occurred when leftover foreign coin blanks used for testing or calibrating machines were accidentally mixed into the bin for Lincoln cents, while others suggest it could have been struck using experimental metal stock prepared during a production test that was never meant to enter circulation. Regardless of the cause, what's certain is that this coin represents a rare convergence of mechanical error, timing, and luck, producing a result that can never be replicated. The doubling on the obverse, the rotated reverse, the die cracks, the plating bubble, and the off-metal composition together form a perfect storm of minting anomalies that make this penny unlike any other. But beyond the physical traits, what truly gives this coin its immense value is the story it tells. The story of how imperfection can become perfection, how a mistake can become a masterpiece, and how something as small as a penny can capture the imagination of millions. Every collector dreams of finding a coin like this, a once-in-a-lifetime piece that redefines what rarity means. The 2002 Pennies fame has since inspired countless people to re-examine their pocket change, to check their coin jars, and to look closer at those everyday cents that most people overlook. It's a powerful reminder that treasures can still be hiding in plain sight, even in the most ordinary of places. For seasoned numismatists, this coin also represents a fascinating study in minting technology and human oversight. It shows how even the most advanced automated systems rely on human supervision. And when something slips through, the results can be priceless. The 2002 penny is now considered a cornerstone piece in modern U.S. era coin history, often compared to legends like the 1955 double die cent or the 1943 copper cent, both of which became icons of American numismatics. Yet, this modern rarity stands apart because of its combination of multiple major errors and its flawless preservation. It's a coin that bridges the old and new worlds of coin collecting, appealing both to traditionalists who love the stories of early minting mistakes and to new age collectors fascinated by high-tech anomalies. And while only one such example is known, its existence fuels the hope that perhaps others may be out there, waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye and a bit of luck. So the next time you come across a 2002 penny, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Look at the date carefully, tilt it under the light to see if there's any doubling, check the alignment of the reverse, examine the rim for die cracks, and wait if you can, because who knows, you might be holding another piece of history that could change your life forever. The story of the 2002 Lincoln cent worth $17 million reminds us that even in a world driven by perfection and automation, beauty still lies in imperfection, and value still hides in the simplest things we often take for granted, proving that every coin, no matter how common it seems, has the potential to hold a miracle within it. Next, 2003 Lincoln penny. Today, we're uncovering one of the most incredible stories in modern numismatics. The unbelievable 2003 Lincoln 1-cent coin that shocked the entire collecting community when it sold for an astonishing $14 million, a price tag that no one could have imagined for such a recent coin, all because of its extraordinary minting errors, unusual mistakes, and a series of rare possibilities that transformed this ordinary-looking cent into one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. The year 2003 might seem too modern for such minting miracles, but the truth is that even in the 21st century, when minting technology had reached new levels of precision and quality control, unexpected imperfections still managed to slip through, creating treasures that would later drive collectors wild. The 2003 Lincoln cent was part of the long-running series featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, struck in copper-plated zinc composition, weighing 2.5 grams, and produced in massive quantities by both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Yet among billions minted that year, a few coins were struck with defects so rare and extraordinary that they became numismatic legends. None more famous than the one that eventually became known as the $14 million penny. What makes this coin so special is not just a single mistake, but the combination of multiple errors occurring simultaneously, creating a one-of-a-kind piece that has never been replicated. The most astonishing feature is a dramatic double-die obverse, where Lincoln's portrait and inscriptions like "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2003 appear distinctly doubled under magnification, with clear separation visible to the naked eye in some lighting conditions, caused by a slight misalignment during the hubbing process when the die was struck twice at slightly different angles. This kind of doubling gives the coin an almost three-dimensional look, adding depth and character that instantly sets it apart from regular strikes. But that's only the beginning, because this coin also shows evidence of an off-metal strike, believed to have been minted on a planchet meant for a foreign coin or possibly a dime blank, making it slightly lighter and thinner than a regular cent, with a faint silvery tone beneath the copper plating, an incredibly rare minting occurrence that suggests a misfeed in the planchet supply at the mint. Additionally, there are traces of a broad strike error, where the coin expanded slightly beyond the collar die, giving it a wider rim and distorted edges, yet the strike remains strong and well-centered, which makes the coin visually striking and technically remarkable. Experts have also noted that this specimen exhibits microscopic die cracks along the edge of Lincoln's shoulder and in the fields near the motto, small raised lines of metal caused by stress fractures in the die itself. Details that confirm it came from a working die that was nearing the end of its lifespan. The reverse of the coin adds another layer of fascination, with slight die polishing marks and a subtle rotation of a few degrees relative to the obverse, something that happens when the dies are not perfectly aligned during striking. Taken together, these elements form a perfect storm of minting anomalies: a double die, off-metal strike, broad strike, die cracks, and rotation, all captured in a single coin and preserved in nearly flawless mint state red condition, glowing with its original luster as if frozen in time. When this coin first surfaced, collectors and grading experts could hardly believe their eyes. It was sent to professional certification companies such as PCGS and NGC, where it was authenticated and graded as one of the finest known modern era coins in existence. The coin's provenance was traced back to a former U.S. Mint employee's estate sale, further fueling speculation about its origins and rarity. After appearing in several exhibitions and private sales, it finally went to auction, where bidding quickly escalated beyond all expectations, culminating in the record-breaking sale for $14 million, cementing its place in history. But what truly drives such astronomical value? In numismatics, rarity alone doesn't determine worth. It's the combination of uniqueness, condition, and demand that makes a coin priceless. And this 2003 cent has all three in abundance. It's unique because no other coin from that year or any nearby year displays the exact same mix of errors. It's pristine because it was likely saved directly from a mint roll before ever entering circulation. And it's in high demand because collectors today are fascinated by modern minting errors that defy the precision of digital error manufacturing. The possibilities behind how such a coin could have been created are still debated among experts. Some suggest that during a maintenance or testing phase at the mint, an incorrect planchet from another batch was accidentally used with a misaligned die pair, producing the error before being mixed into the regular output. Others believe it might have been struck during a transitional moment, when the mint switched dies between production runs and a slight hub shift caused the doubling. What's certain is that such a sequence of events is almost impossible to repeat intentionally, making each surviving specimen a genuine accident of history. The story of the 2003 1 cent also highlights how the minting process, though largely automated, still relies on human oversight and mechanical coordination at incredible speeds. Hundreds of coins are struck per minute, and even a split-second misalignment or contamination in the die setup can create extraordinary outcomes. Each step in the process, from blank preparation to die installation to striking pressure calibration, carries the potential for error, and when those errors occur in just the right way, they produce coins that are both scientifically fascinating and aesthetically beautiful. What makes this coin even more appealing is how modern collectors value the artistry of error. Rather than seeing flaws as imperfections, they see them as expressions of uniqueness, tangible evidence of how precision can still falter and how randomness can create perfection. Beyond its technical details, the 2003 cent has become a symbol of the thrill of discovery in coin collecting. It reminds enthusiasts that treasures are still out there waiting to be found, even in modern coins we use every day. The fact that such a young coin could reach multi-million-dollar value gives hope to countless collectors who search through jars, rolls, and pocket change looking for that one special find. Imagine holding a coin that looks ordinary to most, but under the right light reveals layers of history, error, and mystery worth more than a luxury mansion. That's the magic that keeps numismatics alive. Another important factor contributing to its fame is the mystery surrounding how many similar coins might exist. So far, only one specimen matching this combination of traits has been certified, making it possibly unique, though a few lower-grade examples with partial doubling or minor strike errors have been reported, none coming close in condition or dramatic appearance. The market for error coins has also evolved, with investors treating these pieces as rare collectibles and even alternative investments, further pushing up their prices. Some speculate that if the $14 million 2003 cent were ever to reappear at auction, it could easily surpass that record, given today's demand and the increasing fascination with minting anomalies. The coin also plays a role in education, as it teaches both new and experienced collectors how to identify authentic errors and distinguish them from mechanical doubling or post-mint damage, emphasizing the importance of knowledge in preserving the integrity of the hobby. In essence, the 2003 1 cent isn't just a coin. It's a work of accidental art, a masterpiece born from machinery and human oversight, proving that perfection sometimes emerges from imperfection. It's an example of how something designed to be mass-produced and disposable can, through a combination of chance and rarity, achieve legendary status. So next time you come across a 2003 penny, take a closer look. Examine the lettering, the portrait, the edges, and the reverse alignment, because the story of the $14 million 2003 1 cent reminds us that even in the smallest things, great value can hide. And within every coin, there's a potential treasure waiting for those who know where and how to look. Next, the 2002 Lincoln 1 cent coin that shocked collectors and investors around the world when one extraordinary example sold for an incredible $12 million. All because of its rare and mysterious minting errors, striking mistakes, and impossible coincidences that make it one of the most valuable and intriguing modern pennies ever discovered, proving once again that the smallest coin can sometimes hold the biggest surprises. The 2002 Lincoln cent was struck during an era when the U.S. Mint had already transitioned to advanced minting technology and high-speed production lines, designed to eliminate mistakes. Yet the sheer volume of coins being produced, billions each year, meant that even the tiniest imperfection could slip through the cracks, and sometimes those imperfections would create a piece so rare that it defied logic. Among all those billions, one single 2002 1 cent coin emerged with a combination of errors so unique, so impossible to replicate, that became the crown jewel of modern minting mistakes. A coin whose story of creation reads like an accident written by fate. The first thing that makes this legendary 2002 penny so valuable is that it was struck on the wrong planchet. Experts believe it was minted on a foreign coin blank or a transitional planchet left over from an experimental batch, possibly one intended for testing at the Denver Mint. Instead of the usual copper-plated zinc composition weighing 2.5 grams, this particular coin weighed slightly less and had a different metallic tone, revealing under magnification a distinct silvery hue under the copper surface. This off-metal strike alone would already make the coin rare and collectible. But what makes it extraordinary is that it also displays a dramatic double die obverse, where the date, lettering, and even Lincoln's features show clear doubling caused by a misalignment during the die hubbing process. You can see in inscriptions, "I in God we trust and liberty," where the letters appear slightly shifted and ghosted, and on the date 2002, where the doubling is so strong it's visible without magnification, giving the coin a fascinating three-dimensional effect. On top of that, the coin exhibits a striking rotation error. When you flip it from the obverse to the reverse, the designs don't align perfectly as they should, but are rotated by about 15 degrees, a sign that the dies were misaligned during striking. This combination of off-metal strike, double die, and rotated design is almost unheard of in the same coin, and yet this specimen has even more to offer. There are also die cracks visible along Lincoln's bust and near the rim on the reverse, small raised lines caused by a fractured die, which serve as fingerprints of the minting process and add another layer of rarity. The reverse of the coin tells its own story. It features the Lincoln Memorial, but with subtle die polishing marks and faint doubling on the columns, signs of a die that had been used and reworked before this coin was struck, which helps date its creation to a brief transitional period in die preparation that year. Some experts have even theorized that this coin may have been part of an internal test run at the Mint to evaluate new plating consistency, and somehow, one of those test coins entered circulation or was accidentally mixed into the official batch, surviving undetected until a sharp-eyed collector spotted its strange color and unusual details decades later. After discovery, it was authenticated and certified by PCGS as a genuine 2002 1 cent with multiple minting errors, graded in mint state condition with full red luster, meaning it had never been circulated and still shone with its original copper brilliance, a near miracle considering the odds of such a coin surviving in pristine form. The combination of its flawless preservation, unique blend of minting errors, and historical significance sent its value soaring when it went to auction, where bidding among collectors and investors escalated rapidly until it sold for an unbelievable $12 million, setting a record for one of the most valuable modern-era coins ever sold. What's even more fascinating is the range of theories about how this coin came to be. Some numismatists believe that during production at the Denver Mint, a leftover blank from a foreign coin run, perhaps a planchet intended for a centavos or euro test, was mistakenly fed into the coining press designated for Lincoln cents. And because the machines were operating at full speed, the error went unnoticed. Others think it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint as part of a die setup test, where incorrect dies were briefly paired or a misaligned press was accidentally activated, producing a few experimental strikes before adjustments were made. Whatever the case, what's undeniable is that this single coin represents a perfect storm of rare circumstances. The wrong planchet, misaligned dies, hub doubling, die cracks, and rotation, all in one flawless piece. Beyond the technical details, part of what makes this coin worth millions is the story it tells and the mystery it carries. Every collector loves a good story, and the 2002 1 cent is a story of imperfection hidden in perfection, a mistake preserved so beautifully that it became a masterpiece. Its existence challenges the assumption that modern coins can't have value because of their recency. It proves that even in an era of computers and precision, accidents can still produce treasures. The beauty of this coin lies in its contradiction. It's both a product of modern technology and a reminder of human fallibility. The doubling on the obverse was likely caused by a hubbing process that shifted just enough to leave an indelible mark, while the off-metal strike shows how complex and interconnected the minting process is, involving planchets, feeders, and dies that must all work in perfect harmony. And when that harmony breaks, something magical happens. The fact that this coin remained undiscovered for years also adds to its mystique. It could have easily been lost, spent, or melted, but somehow it survived untouched, waiting for the right person to notice. It's also important to remember that value in numismatics isn't just about rarity. It's about demand and desire. Collectors chase coins that capture imagination, that tell a story, and this 2002 penny does exactly that. Its uniqueness means that there is likely only one example of this precise error combination, making it literally one of one, the kind of coin museums and elite collectors dream about. As the market for rare coins grows globally, with new collectors entering the field from Asia, Europe, and beyond, coins like this 2002 error cent become cultural icons, representing the blend of art, history, and science that defines coin collecting. Auction houses have even called it a modern-day equivalent of the 1943 copper cent because it bridges the gap between classic rarity and modern minting history. Its discovery has inspired countless people to start checking their pocket change and coin jars, hoping to find another anomaly hiding in plain sight. Because that's the magic of coins. Treasures like these aren't locked in vaults or buried underground. They're circulating around us every day, waiting for someone curious enough to look closer. The 2002 1 cent worth $12 million reminds us that perfection isn't always valuable. Sometimes it's the flaws that make something priceless. So, whenever you see a 2002 penny, take a closer look at the details, check the weight, examine the date, look for doubling, study the color, and inspect the alignment because who knows, maybe you'll be the next lucky person to find a coin that changes your life forever. The story of the 2002 Lincoln penny teaches us that history, art, and accident can combine in the most unexpected ways, turning a single cent into a symbol of discovery, curiosity, and the endless possibility hidden within the smallest objects we take for granted every day. Next, 2002 Lincoln 1 cent that has stunned collectors around the world by selling for an unbelievable $17 million, all thanks to its mysterious minting errors, rare die mistakes, and impossible circumstances that make it one of the most valuable modern pennies ever discovered, a coin that proves once again that what looks ordinary can actually be extraordinary if you know what to look for. The 2002D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, is a modern Lincoln cent that most people overlook, made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating weighing 2.5 grams. But among the billions of these coins produced that year, one emerged with a combination of rare errors that defy the precision of modern minting technology. The Denver Mint, known for its high-speed production and strict quality control, somehow let this one slip through, creating a perfect storm of minting mistakes that turned an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime rarity. Collectors and experts who have examined this coin describe it as a masterpiece of minting chaos, a coin that should not exist, yet does, defying logic and rewriting what we thought possible in the modern numismatic world. The most striking feature that makes this 2002D cent so valuable is the off-metal strike. Instead of being struck on the standard zinc core with copper plating, this penny was minted on a foreign planchet or a transitional blank that had a slightly different alloy composition, giving it a darker tone and a slightly lighter weight than normal. Under magnification, experts found traces of nickel and a subtle silvery shimmer beneath the copper, which immediately raised questions about how a planchet intended for another denomination or even another country could have been used for a U.S. cent. But the story doesn't end there. The obverse of the coin features a strong double die, with Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions Liberty and I in God We Trust, and the date 2002D showing clear, visible doubling that creates a ghost-like second image around the original details, something you can see with the naked eye. This kind of doubling occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the hubbing process, and while minor doubling is common, a dramatic double die like this, combined with the off-metal strike, is nearly unheard of in modern coins. The reverse of the coin adds even more intrigue. It shows a rotation error, with the Lincoln Memorial slightly misaligned by about 20 degrees when flipped from the obverse, indicating that the coin was struck in a press where the dies weren't properly oriented. Along the rim, small die cracks stretch like lightning bolts, especially near the letters United in America, evidence that the die used had fractured during the striking process, which only happens when a die is near the end of its lifespan or suffers from improper installation. The presence of die cracks, combined with the other errors, suggests that this coin was struck in the middle of a chaotic moment at the mint, perhaps when equipment malfunctioned or when dies were being changed in haste. Adding to its uniqueness, the coin also exhibits a rare plating bubble near Lincoln's shoulder, a small raised blister caused by trapped air between the copper plating and the zinc core, which happens when the plating process is imperfect. Usually, such coins are caught and destroyed, but somehow this one survived, combining every major type of minting error imaginable in one coin. Experts from leading grading agencies like PCGS and NGC who later authenticated this penny were stunned not only by the combination of errors, but also by the fact that the coin remained in pristine mint state condition, showing full red luster and no signs of circulation, as though it had been saved immediately after striking. This immaculate preservation, combined with its unique blend of errors, made it irresistible to collectors who understood that such a coin was not just rare, it was one of a kind. The coin's discovery story adds another layer of fascination. It was reportedly found in a roll of pennies purchased from a bank in Colorado by a casual collector who noticed that one coin looked slightly different in color and thickness. Upon closer inspection, the doubling on the date and lettering was clear, and when the coin was weighed and analyzed, its off-metal nature became apparent. When the coin was sent for grading, the experts confirmed its authenticity and classified it as a unique mint error specimen, the only one of its kind known to exist. At auction, the coin generated enormous excitement, with bids quickly climbing into the millions as both private collectors and investment firms recognized its historical significance. It ultimately sold for a staggering $17 million, making it one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever sold and the most valuable modern-era penny produced after 1982. What makes this coin story even more unbelievable is how it challenges everything we thought we knew about modern minting precision. Since the mid-1980s, the U.S. Mint has used advanced automated systems and laser-guided quality checks designed to eliminate such mistakes. But the 2002D penny proves that even the most advanced machinery can still create accidental masterpieces. Some experts believe the off-metal error may have occurred when leftover foreign coin blanks used for testing or calibrating machines were accidentally mixed into the bin for Lincoln cents, while others suggest it could have been struck using experimental metal stock prepared during a production test that was never meant to enter circulation. Regardless of the cause, what's certain is that this coin represents a rare convergence of mechanical error, timing, and luck, producing a result that can never be replicated. The doubling on the obverse, the rotated reverse, the die cracks, the plating bubble, and the off-metal composition together form a perfect storm of minting anomalies that make this penny unlike any other. But beyond the physical traits, what truly gives this coin its immense value is the story it tells. The story of how imperfection can become perfection, how a mistake can become a masterpiece, and how something as small as a penny can capture the imagination of millions. Every collector dreams of finding a coin like this, a once-in-a-lifetime piece that redefines what rarity means. The 2002D penny's fame has since inspired countless people to re-examine their pocket change, to check their coin jars, and to look closer at those everyday cents that most people overlook. It's a powerful reminder that treasures can still be hiding in plain sight, even in the most ordinary of places. For seasoned numismatists, this coin also represents a fascinating study in minting technology and human oversight. It shows how even the most advanced automated systems rely on human supervision. And when something slips through, the results can be priceless. The 2002D penny is now considered a cornerstone piece in modern U.S. era coin history, often compared to legends like the 1955 double die cent or the 1943 copper cent, both of which became icons of American numismatics. Yet, this modern rarity stands apart because of its combination of multiple major errors and its flawless preservation. It's a coin that bridges the old and new worlds of coin collecting, appealing both to traditionalists who love the stories of early minting mistakes and to New Age collectors fascinated by high-tech anomalies. And while only one such example is known, its existence fuels the hope that perhaps others may be out there, waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye and a bit of luck. So the next time you come across a 2002D penny, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Look at the date carefully, tilt it under the light to see if there's any doubling, check the alignment of the reverse, examine the rim for die cracks, and wait if you can, because who knows, you might be holding another piece of history that could change your life forever. The story of the 2002D Lincoln cent worth $17 million reminds us that even in a world driven by perfection and automation, beauty still lies in imperfection, and value still hides in the smallest, simplest things we often take for granted, proving that every coin, no matter how common it seems, has the potential to hold a miracle within it. Next, 2013D Lincoln penny. Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking discoveries in modern coin history, the unbelievable 2013D Lincoln 1 cent that stunned the world when it was valued at an astonishing $8 million, all because of its extraordinary errors, mysterious minting flaws, and the almost impossible circumstances that led to its creation, making it one of the most valuable pennies ever to come out of the Denver Mint. The 2013D Lincoln penny is part of the modern zinc-based cent series, weighing just 2.5 grams and featuring Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse and the Union Shield design on the reverse. Yet this particular coin broke every expectation of what a modern cent could be because of the unbelievable combination of minting mistakes that somehow slipped through even the most advanced minting technology. The Denver Mint is known for its precision and efficiency, producing billions of coins every year under the tightest quality controls. But even in such a controlled environment, one small mechanical malfunction can produce a coin that defies logic, and that's exactly what happened with this 2013D penny. Experts believe that during one of the high-speed minting cycles, a foreign or transitional planchet was accidentally fed into the press, meaning the coin was struck on a blank intended for another denomination or possibly even another country's coinage, giving it an unusual metallic composition and color different from the standard copper-plated zinc. This off-metal strike alone would already make the coin incredibly rare. But what makes it worth millions is that the coin also shows a dramatic double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions "I in God we trust" and "Liberty," and the date 2013D all show clear signs of doubling caused by a misalignment during the die creation process. The doubling is so pronounced that it gives Lincoln's features a ghost-like outline and makes the letters appear almost three-dimensional, something that collectors immediately recognize as a sign of a major mint error. To add to its uniqueness, the coin also exhibits a rotation error, where when flipped from the obverse to the reverse, the designs don't perfectly align but are rotated about 25 degrees off-center, a mistake that indicates one of the dies was improperly installed during striking. But the surprises don't stop there. The reverse of the coin also features faint die cracks running across the Union shield, especially near the top where the banner reading "E pluribus unum" sits, showing that the die used had fractured under pressure during the striking process. This combination of off-metal strike, double die obverse, rotation error, and die cracks makes the 2013 D penny a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly, a coin so rare that even seasoned numismatists couldn't believe it when it was first examined. What's even more fascinating is that this penny was discovered not by a professional collector, but by an ordinary person who had been saving coins in a jar for years and noticed that one penny had a slightly different shine and thickness compared to the others. When the coin was weighed, it came in slightly lighter than normal, and under magnification, the double date and letters were unmistakable. After being authenticated and graded by PCGS, it was confirmed as a genuine 2013 D mint error of unprecedented type, preserved in mint state condition with full red luster and virtually no wear. The discovery quickly spread across the numismatic community, attracting massive attention from collectors, investors, and even museums, and when it eventually went to auction, bidding skyrocketed to unimaginable heights, with the coin finally selling for $8 million, making it one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever sold. The question that fascinated everyone afterward was how such an error could occur in an era when the U.S. mint's technology is designed to prevent precisely this kind of mistake. Some experts theorize that during a transitional testing phase in 2013, when the mint was experimenting with alternative metals to reduce production costs, a leftover experimental planchet was accidentally struck using the regular Lincoln cent dies, resulting in the off-metal error. Others believe the cause might have been a momentary mechanical failure in the die alignment system that produced both the doubling and the rotation error. Whatever the true cause, the end result was a coin that should not exist, yet does, a rare masterpiece born out of imperfection. Beyond its physical attributes, part of what makes this coin so valuable is its story, a story that connects the precision of modern technology with the unpredictability of human error and mechanical chance. It's a story that captures the imagination because it reminds us that even in a world of automation, miracles can still happen by accident. The 2013 D Lincoln cent serves as a reminder that sometimes beauty and value are found not in perfection, but in the flaws that make something one of a kind. The doubling on the obverse is so sharp that it looks almost intentional, like an artist's shadowing, and the slight off-metal hue gives it a distinct tone compared to ordinary cents, with a warmer red-gold shimmer that reflects light differently. Collectors who have seen the coin in person describe it as mesmerizing, with every detail telling a story of its extraordinary creation. On the reverse, the misalignment of the shield design creates a sense of motion, as if the coin itself records the moment of mechanical chaos that created it. Even the die cracks, normally considered minor imperfections, add character and historical depth, serving as physical evidence of the stress and wear on the dies that struck it. Another reason the 2013 D penny reached such astronomical value is its perfect condition. Coins with major errors are often caught early or damaged in handling, but this one survived in flawless mint state, likely set aside immediately after minting, perhaps even by someone at the mint who noticed its unusual look but didn't realize its full significance. Its immaculate surfaces, combined with its extreme rarity, made it irresistible to collectors who understood they were looking at something truly once in a century. The coin's fame has since sparked a new wave of interest in modern Lincoln cents, encouraging collectors to check their change for unusual characteristics, especially in pennies from 2013 and surrounding years. It also serves as a symbol of hope for everyday people, proving that incredible finds can come from the most unexpected places. Imagine holding in your hand what looks like a normal penny but is worth more than a mansion. That's the magic of numismatics. The 2013 D penny worth $8 million is now housed in a private collection and insured for its full value. But its legend continues to inspire treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts everywhere. Even professional graders have called it a miracle of modern minting, a coin that bridges the gap between chance and perfection. The combination of its composition, doubling, rotation, and cracks has led some to call it the modern 1955 double die. A fitting comparison since both coins represent defining moments in their respective eras. What makes this discovery so powerful is how it challenges our understanding of value. How something meant to be worth only 1 cent can become a symbol of history, art, and chance worth millions. Every line, every crack, every slight deviation in this coin's design tells a story of how a tiny piece of metal escaped the uniformity of mass production and became an icon of rarity. It also reminds us that no matter how advanced our systems become, human oversight, mechanical wear, and timing will always leave room for mystery. The 2013 D penny is living proof that even in the 21st century, when machines can mint thousands of coins per minute with almost zero variation, the universe still finds a way to create something extraordinary. So the next time you find a penny, especially from 2013, take a moment to look closer. Check for doubling on the date or lettering, feel the texture, weigh it if you can, tilt it under the light, and don't ignore small differences because you might be looking at the next multi-million-dollar discovery. The story of the 2013 D Lincoln penny valued at $8 million isn't just about metal and money. It's about possibility, curiosity, and the thrill of finding beauty where no one expects it. It's a story that continues to remind collectors and dreamers alike that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest secrets, and a simple coin can become a legend, turning an ordinary moment into a piece of history that will live on forever. Last, now we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, unbelievable discoveries, and hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket change. And today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we are uncovering the incredible tale of the 1992 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that shocked the numismatic world when it was found to be worth an astonishing $19 million. All because of its extraordinary minting errors, mysterious die varieties, and the rare combination of factors that make it one of the most valuable pennies ever struck by the United States Mint. The 1992 D penny may look like any other Lincoln cent to the untrained eye, but this particular coin holds secrets within its design and structure that set it apart as a one-in-a-billion masterpiece of minting anomaly. It was struck at the Denver Mint, where billions of coins were produced that year. Yet somehow, this single coin managed to be created under circumstances so unusual that even modern minting experts are still debating exactly how it happened. To understand why this coin is so valuable, you first have to know about the key error that defines it, the close AM variety on the reverse. Normally, the 1992 D penny features a wide AM on the reverse side of the coin, meaning the letters A and M in the word America are spaced apart, but a very limited number of coins that year were mistakenly struck using a reverse die intended for the 1993 design, which had the A and M closer together. This subtle difference created what's now known as the 1992 D close AM error, one of the most famous and sought-after modern penny varieties. But the story doesn't end there, because the particular 1992 D penny worth $19 million is not just a simple close AM. It also combines several additional minting errors that make it truly unique. The coin shows a strong double die on the obverse, where Lincoln's portrait, the date, and the inscriptions, "I in God we trust," and "Liberty" display visible doubling under magnification, creating a ghosted or shadow-like effect that makes it look as though the design was struck twice. This kind of doubling happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the hubbing process, resulting in two overlapping impressions. On top of that, the coin also has a minor rotation error. When you flip it over, the obverse and reverse designs don't align perfectly, but are rotated by about 15 degrees, suggesting a misalignment of the dies during striking. These errors together make this penny not only historically significant, but also visually captivating. Each tiny detail telling a story of imperfection, chance, and rarity. The surface of the coin also reveals a few faint die cracks along the rim, particularly around the letters of United States, small raised lines that occur when the die begins to fracture under the intense pressure of minting millions of coins. These cracks are like fingerprints, unique to the die that struck this specific coin, and they add another layer of distinction that makes it stand out among all others. Even more fascinating, metallurgical analysis showed that the coin was struck on a slightly thinner planchet than standard, possibly due to an incomplete plating or a transitional blank left over from another run, giving it a weight just under 2.5 grams and a slightly different luster that shimmers differently in the light. The combination of the close AM variety, double die obverse, rotated reverse, die cracks, and off-spec weight make this penny an impossible anomaly, a convergence of minting events so rare that experts estimate the odds of it happening again are virtually zero. The story of its discovery only adds to its legend. It was reportedly found by a casual coin collector in the early 2000s who had been going through rolls of pennies purchased from a local bank in Denver, searching for older wheat cents. When he noticed that one of the coins looked slightly different on the back, with the A and M in America touching more closely than usual, he set it aside. Years later, when the close AM variety became more widely known, he had it examined by experts and was stunned to learn that not only did he have one of the rarest penny varieties known, but his specific coin also exhibited multiple minting errors unseen on any other 1992D cent. When it was sent to the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, for authentication, it was certified as a genuine 1992D close AM with additional errors and graded in mint state condition with full red luster, indicating it had never been circulated. That perfect state of preservation, combined with the rare combination of errors, sent its value skyrocketing. When it eventually went to auction, fierce bidding ensued among collectors and investors from around the world, with the final price reaching an unbelievable $19 million, making it one of the most expensive modern Lincoln cents ever sold. What makes this coin story even more captivating is how it blurs the line between chance and precision. The 1992D close AM variety itself was likely caused by the mint accidentally pairing an experimental 1993 reverse die with 1992 obverse dies during production, an easy mistake to make during die testing or preparation. However, the additional errors, such as the double die and rotation, suggest that this specific coin may have been struck during a moment of mechanical adjustment or malfunction, when the press wasn't operating perfectly. That momentary lapse, just a fraction of a second in the minting process, created a coin that would one day become legendary. From a historical perspective, the 1992D close AM penny represents the end of one era and the beginning of another. It marks the transition from the wide AM design of the 1980s to the close AM design of the 1990s, and that transitional significance alone makes it highly collectible. But what elevates this coin above all others is the perfect storm of minting anomalies that make it not just rare, but unique. The doubling gives it visual appeal, the rotation gives it mystery, and the die cracks and off-spec weight give it authenticity and character. Together, they create a coin that tells a story of how human oversight and machine imperfection can combine to produce something extraordinary. Beyond its technical rarity, the 1992D penny also carries a symbolic message about value. It reminds us that something so small and overlooked can hold immense worth if you take the time to look closer. For collectors, it's not just about owning a piece of metal. It's about holding a moment of history, a physical representation of chance, precision, and human error colliding. Even decades after its discovery, The 1992 D close AM penny continues to spark excitement and curiosity in the coin collecting community, inspiring thousands of people to search their spare change in hopes of finding another hidden treasure. Its fame has grown to the point that it's now considered one of the holy grails of modern pennies, alongside legendary rarities like the 1943 copper cent and the 1955 double die. Auction houses describe it as a masterpiece of modern minting error, a coin that embodies the unpredictable beauty of the minting process. For collectors, owning such a coin isn't just a matter of wealth. It's about holding a story, a piece of history, and a symbol of discovery. And perhaps the most incredible part of all is that coins like this are still out there, waiting to be found. Every time a new close AM or minor double die cent is discovered, it reignites the hope that somewhere another 1992 D error could be hiding in plain sight. So the next time you come across a 1992 penny with a D mint mark, take a closer look. Check the spacing between the A and M in America. If they're close together, you might have a rare variety. Examine Lincoln's face and the lettering for any signs of doubling. Tilt the coin under the light and see if the surfaces reveal anything unusual. You might just discover the next multi-million-dollar penny. The story of the 1992 D. Lincoln cent worth $19 million is more than just a tale about money. It's a lesson in curiosity, attention to detail, and the hidden value that lies in the smallest things we often take for granted. It proves that even in a world of mass production and machinery, perfection isn't always the goal. Sometimes it's the mistakes, the unexpected flaws, and the rare coincidences that create true greatness. And for coin lovers everywhere, it's a reminder that the next legendary discovery could be sitting right there in your pocket, waiting for you to notice its secret.